The Westinghouse 28,000 peak watt home backup portable generator is a big blue open frame unit with an industrial stance. Thick steel tubing, oversized never flat wheels, and a lift point on top that tells you it means business. It looks like a small rolling power plant, and up close, you can feel the heft and purpose in the way the handles lock, the rubber-covered outlets snap back into place, and the VFT display lights up when the battery wakes the system. From my experience, this one isn't about flashy styling. It's built to work, and everything about it, from the tall 17-gallon tank to the V-twin engine tucked inside, reminds me this is meant for serious whole-home backup. Key features that stood out to me are the honest power and the way it's delivered. You get up to 28,000 peak watts and 20,000 running watts. In plain terms, starting watts help handle short surges when big appliances kick on, while running watts is what it can sustain. The panel includes two 50A 120 240-volt 1450R outlets and two 30A 120 240-volt L1430R outlets, plus a 30A 120-volt L530R and four GFCI 120-volt household outlets. That makes it transfer switch ready for safe home connection, and it lets me split loads the way my house is wired. It also has a CO sensor for safety, an idle control to reduce RPMs when loads are light, and low THD power, under 5%, which means the sine wave is clean enough for computers, routers, TVs, and phone chargers without frying anything sensitive. The engine is a 999cc V-twin with a cast iron sleeve and copper windings in the alternator, which in my opinion is exactly what you want for durability and cooler running. The VFT data center shows volts, frequency, and total hours, so I can track maintenance without guesswork. And yes, there's a push-button electric start and a remote start key fob, which are priceless when the weather is ugly.
I'll be upfront about my first hesitation: weight. The spec sheet puts it at about 600 pounds, and it feels every bit of it. Getting it off the pallet was the toughest part of my setup, and I planned ahead with help to make it safe. Once the wheels were on and the handle pinned, I could roll it on a flat driveway by myself, but I wouldn't drag it across grass or gravel without an extra set of hands. That top lift point exists for a reason. It's meant to be moved with mechanical help when you're crossing anything rough or going up a ramp. In my opinion, calling it portable is fair only if you think of it as relocatable around a property, not something you'll toss in a trunk for a tailgate. Setup was straightforward. Westinghouse includes engine oil, a funnel, basic tools, and a quick start guide. I added oil, connected the pre-installed battery, filled it with fresh gas, and used the key fob. The auto choke did its thing, it fired up clean, and after a short warm-up, the tone settled into a steady thrum. It's a conventional, open-frame generator with a big engine, so the sound is what you expect. Not whisper quiet, but controlled and even. I set it on a level outdoor pad with good airflow, kept it away from doors and windows, and let the CO sensor do its job as a backup. For anyone new to this, CO sensors detect carbon monoxide and can shut the engine down if levels are unsafe, but safe placement outdoors is still on you.
The big test was tying it into the house. I had a licensed electrician install a 58 inlet and an interlock on the main panel. A transfer switch or interlock physically prevents backfeeding power into utility lines, which is critical for safety and code compliance. With that in place, I plugged into a 50A cable, synced the loads, and brought the house online. From my experience, it ran my central air, fridge, chest freezer, well pump, lighting, and my office gear with headroom. When the AC compressor kicked on, I saw a quick sag on the display and it recovered immediately, which is exactly what I wanted to see. The THD spec gave me the confidence to leave my network gear and desktop powered without dragging out a separate UPS. Fuel use will always be the trade-off at this power level. The tank is 17 gallons, and the stated run times are up to 17 hours at 25% load and around 11 hours at 50% load. Real usage depends on what you ask of it and how often large motors cycle. I ran it for a long afternoon with mixed loads and used a noticeable chunk of the tank, which tracked with the numbers. In my opinion, that's perfectly reasonable for a 999cc engine generating whole home output. I treat every tank with stabilizer, rotate fuel, and store gas safely away from living spaces. If you're planning for multi-day outages, build a fuel plan just like you'd prep water and food. A couple usability notes are worth sharing. The oil dipstick is angled and can be fiddly to read, so I take my time and check it on level ground. The fuel valve felt stiff out of the box, but it loosened up slightly after a few uses. The battery charging port on the panel is handy for topping off between uses, though I still run it under load monthly for 20 to 30 minutes. That exercise keeps the battery alive, circulates oil, and makes sure everything is ready when the lights go out. I also did an early oil change after a short break-in and then moved to the standard schedule. On reliability, mine started and ran without drama, and the V-twin feels strong. I've seen reports from others about the occasional hard start or shut-off, which is not unusual across big conventional generators from any brand. From my experience, most of that comes down to stale fuel, low battery charge, or safety sensors doing their job in a poorly ventilated spot. Still, I keep my paperwork, record hours on the display, and stick to the maintenance list in the manual. If I ever need warranty support, I want clean documentation. It's perfect for homeowners who want standby level output without committing to a permanent standby unit. If you have a property that loses power often, a deep well, a larger HVAC, or you simply want to keep your whole routine going, this unit can shoulder that. It also fits job sites where multiple high-draw tools need to run at once. Just remember the footprint and the weight, and plan a parking spot near your inlet with room to breathe. From my experience, the best way to use this generator is to treat it like part of a system, not just a box you roll out in an emergency. Have the interlocker transfer switch set up. Keep a dedicated heavy-gauge cable, stage your fuel, and give it a monthly workout. Learn your home's big loads and cycle them smartly. Once you have that dialed in, this thing is remarkably simple to live with. I'd recommend this for someone who values power capacity and reliability over the convenience of a smaller, whisper-quiet unit. If your needs are just a fridge, lights, and a few outlets, you're overbuying here. But if you're serious about whole home coverage and you're okay managing a 600-pound machine that runs on gasoline, this checks the boxes. In my opinion, the combination of 50A and 30A 120-240 volt outlets, low THD, remote start, and the VFT display puts it a step ahead in day-to-day usability. The copper windings and cast iron sleeve are the right kind of overbuilt for long service life. A quick note for newcomers. 120/240 volts means it can power both standard household circuits and the higher voltage circuits used by big appliances. THD under 5% is a measure of how clean the electricity is. Lower is better for electronics. Idle control lowers RPMs when demand is low to save fuel and reduce noise a bit. A transfer switch or panel interlock is a safety device that isolates your house from the grid while the generator is running. If those terms feel new, don't worry. Once your electrician walks you through the setup, daily use is literally start, warm up, switch over, and manage your loads. In conclusion, the Westinghouse 28,000 peak watt home backup portable generator delivers what it promises: real whole home power with clean output and a control layout that makes sense. It's heavy and it drinks gas when you lean on it, but that's the reality of moving a lot of electrons. If you plan for the weight, the noise profile, and fuel logistics, it rewards you with confidence during bad weather and long outages. I like that I can push a button, bring up the panel, and know exactly what the system is doing. That peace of mind is why it's earned a permanent spot on my pad. I will post full information about the Westinghouse 28,000 peak watt home backup portable generator in the comments section. See you in the following videos.